Hey everybody, this is SIfu Z and welcome to my Intro to Wing Chun. Let's recap what we've gone through thus far. For a more detailed recap, of course, you can check out the description below where I've added links to the previous lessons. I first introduced the kinima, or the grounding. Grabbing the ground, establishing your balance and getting power from your balance that you have in the ground, and establishing the correct postures with your legs. Then the next lesson we had doing the postures, the upper body postures, Bansal, Tansal, Foksal, and others. Then we had the whole concept of transferring that power that we get from the ground out to, we had the connecting quadrants,
Yes.
right? So connecting the lower body with the upper body postures, and then transferring the power from the ground out to the fist or whatever extremity. And then we talked about building the connectivity of that power from the ground out to the fist. So again, if you want more detail on those, just go back to the previous lessons. Now, today we're going to talk about something that's pretty important, because now we're taking all those concepts and we're going to mobilize those things. In other words, we're just standing here, right? We're in our kinima. We have our upper body posture, be it the jig chang or the bansal or the foksal, whatever it might be. And then we have the internal concept of grabbing the ground and transferring that balance and strength from the ground out to the extremity. And then even the slow motion concept of really focusing and compressing and really tensing to make sure you build the connectivity. And then the actual function, that's what we did through the sandbag, of just transferring that out, right? Boom, boom. If you're bansal, right? Bansal, or foksal if it was down here, right? So the problem now is we're standing in one place, right? Now, this is okay because most, in the self-defense aspect, a lot of stuff is going to come to you, so we're not going to chase it. So it's going to come to you. Being able to deal with it and connect with it instead of running away from it is a really good talent to develop, right? Now, however, sometimes the force can be so great and unruly that, or you don't want to hurt whoever, you don't want to take the liability of them getting damaged. So in this case, we have to mobilize, we have to move. So now, does that mean we just get out of our kinima and move whichever way? Well, sure, you could do that, but there's a much more efficient way of moving in self-defense. Now, again, that's assuming self-defense. It's not assuming you're attacking, and it's also not assuming you're running away, which might be good options as well. But what we're focusing on here is efficiently mobilizing ourselves while we maintain our ground and maintain that connectivity. Those words were important. So again, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to mobilize, mean move, while we still maintain strength and structure from the ground. In other words, we don't move out of that structure and then regain the structure. And we move while we maintain the structure and the strength. Now, I don't know if that sounds easy to you, It might sound easier than it is to do, right? Easier said than done. Now here's what makes it easy. Because we're going to be dealing with the subject, whatever it might be, we're not going to be we're not going to be running, and we're not going to be chasing. Okay, I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but I want you to really understand this concept, and that is, we don't need to move in big steps, right? If you attack me, I just need to move a little bit, right? So that's our ace in the hole as far as the technique of moving in Wing Chun, right? So again, I'm introducing this to you first, the concept first, before I show you the actual technique. So the whole idea is to just move a little bit, maybe move a little, yeah, or maybe move out of the way, or maybe move into the way, yeah. Now, all of this movement is really restricted to just a few movements here. You're in Kin Mi Ma. Now, you can pivot, and when I say pivot, essentially you're pivoting predominantly off of your heels, not completely off of your heels, right? Sort of like swim fins, you know, when you're right. No, but you're predominantly you're keeping a nice little hover with the rest of your foot over the floor, right? So you don't really lift them up and put them back down. You're moving mostly from your heels, so that's what allows you to pivot. All right. So that's one method of how we're moving. We're pivoting. Another method of moving is we're switching our stance. So we're just in this stance and we just switch legs. And then we pivot and look, now we're to the back. So, and if we want to come back front, we're here. Right? Again, pivot, switch stance, pivot. Switch stance, pivot. So this is how you would move if you had to move in a circle, right? You move like this, switch stance, pivot, switch stance, right? Very efficient. Then we go the other way, and switch stance, and switch stance, right? I know this may seem like a trivial thing, but it isn't. It's really efficient footwork, and it allows you to stay in your ground without lifting up. Right? You're staying down, heavily grounded, while not lifting up out of the ground. Because if you lift up out of the ground, then you're compromising your power, and your balance, of course, too. Right. So again, let's go over that. We pivot, switch stance, we pivot, switch stance, pivot. Let's go the other way. Pivot, switch stance, pivot, switch stance, pivot. So it looks like we're kind of looking at the magic number 3. You'll notice in Wing Chun, these things come in rather 2 or 3 odd or even movements. And it's worth paying attention to those numbers, yeah? Especially when we start talking rhythm. So this is how we move. So if, for instance, let's say we're putting a fist out, and we move here. Something's coming this way, and I put the fist out here. Something's over here, put the fist out here. Right? Notice I didn't put the fist out here and not move towards, right, and stay here, right? Because there's not a lot of strength here. But here, oh, there's a lot of strength here, right? Same thing here. I can punch out here and you know, reach them, but what I want to do is punch out here and really have it strong. So this will take us into our next class. I won't cover it right now, but when we pivot, Now, it also gives us another weapon, and that is another foot. So we have 1, 2, 3. We've got the Karate Kid thing going on now, right? But having this third thing out there, right? This third extremity out, really comes in handy. But again, like we said in the previous class, it's of no use unless we build the strength. Did we talk about that in the lesson?
Yeah, sure.
Or was it the class?
I think the one did.
Yeah, all right. So, if you have any questions regarding this Kim-yi-ma, because we're still talking, we're still talking Kim-yi-ma and Chi-ger here, right? But now we're talking mobilizing our Chi-ger with the upper body, upper quadrant connected, right? And really developing that connectivity from the ground out to the fist or to whatever extremity, and being able to mobilize as well, right? Turn, here, right? Turn. And so you'll see you're able to move around quite efficiently and quite nicely. What you can't do is make a lot of ground by running like this, right? But that's not the assumption. That's not what we're trying to do. It's not to say that wouldn't work. One of my favorite things is to run, especially self-defense, run and then donkey kick, right? But that's a different thing. That's not what I'm trying to show you. I'm trying to show you the efficiency of really the footwork. Right. You know, and keeping it really short, shuffle. So that's the last thing I'll talk about. Almost forgot. Is shuffle step. We have shuffle step. So, well, I didn't forget to talk about it because I talked about shuffle in or shuffle out. You can have multiple shuffles, right? Now shuffles, some people I've seen use shuffles as an attack, shuffle and chain punching. But I think shuffling is best thought of in reference to wedging and offsetting, right? Really get your leg in there and then offsetting. Because in general, moving in straight lines back and forth is not a good idea in self-defense or martial arts, right? You're kind of moving in half moves and half circles. Yeah. Okay, very good. Subscribe. There we go.
Please subscribe.
That's a big word. Subscribe. We're trying to get our 100 subscribers so we can get our URL here on this channel. I hope that you're finding the information that we're providing helpful. If it isn't, or you'd like to know more, feel free to ask or leave comments in the appropriate comment section.
Go to SIfu Z.com.
Yes, SIfu Z.com if you want more of this. We are doing lessons almost daily, live lessons using the Meet, the new Google Meet function. It used to be Hangouts, now it's Hangout. It was Hangout Meet. Now it's just being called Meet. So if you're signed up with us on Patreon, then you can get invitations to join our classes that we're holding here in Denver, Colorado. But it doesn't matter if you're here in Denver or if you're in Poughkeepsie, for goodness sakes, you can train with us. All right, I'll see you next lesson.